listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by. On the morning shift.
Anything
could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
All right, and good morning. Welcome, everyone, to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh, and I'm glad to be here with you this morning, and I'm glad that you are here with us. We are live on CKLU 96.7 FM on the radio, also streaming at cklu.ca online, auditorially. So you can catch us streaming there. You just click on the Radio Player Canada app logo and you can stream us. You can also download that same Radio Player Canada app and you can take us with you and listen to us anytime, anywhere on your favorite device. And also we're streaming on Facebook at facebook.com/Sudbury News, youtube.com/Sudbury News, where you can catch all of the shows live, or you can catch them after because they live on Facebook and YouTube on our channel and our page. And so on the live show, make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow, all that stuff on our social media channels. We're also on Twitter. We're also on Instagram at Sudbury News. The only thing we have a dot on that's any different than just at Sudbury News for any social media is Instagram. It's Sudbury.news. Other than that, and that's our website as well, Sudbury.news. Catch everything there. It's a news aggregator. It takes all of the local news and puts it all in one spot. You can check that out. There's news, sports, weather, all that stuff. So I'd like to thank the Facebook moderators for being here and the job that they have to do. We'll talk a lot about online today and some of the regulations that have been passed being passed and going through the Senate now with Bill C-11 in Canada and what that means to us. We have Harrison Faulkner, who is the host of Ray Showed. He lives on True North on their website. He's part of their organization. They are an alternative news outlet, one of which will be affected by Bill C-11 along with us as well. And he unpacks it basically because that's what he does for a living. I do this voluntarily, and all the research that I've put into it so far, all the videos I've seen, all the comments, all of the unpacking, he's done a great job. Why reinvent the wheel when he's already put it together? We'll have a special presentation by him on Bill C-11 coming up. We have a lot of news locally to cover this morning. So stay tuned. It's going to be a great show. I'd just like to thank everyone for your heartfelt condolences and prayers and thoughts and your comments that you've made on my personal Facebook page, along with the Sudbury News Facebook page. Appreciate it. My father passed away last Tuesday at the age of 79, just shy of his 80th birthday. And so even though he wasn't doing the greatest, it's always a shock and just to feel the love that people put out there. You don't know how much that meant to me. And accidentally, I shared a picture of myself in this studio, actually, in this office that I was using as my my profile picture for my master's program that I'm now a part of. And I just thought, hey, okay, I'll just share this picture on my personal page. And then I went on my personal page. It wasn't there. I shared it on Sudbury News by accident. So if you're just seeing a picture of me wondering, is this guy narcissistic and he's just showing a picture of himself for no particular reason? No, I'm not. And it was an accident. And even sharing a picture of myself on my Facebook, I wouldn't normally just share a picture of myself. It's very uncommon unless there's a reason. But I thought, you know what? It's got the blue background and whatever. I shared it. So thanks. And then there people sent their condolences and their love and their kind words. And I really do appreciate it. I thought I'd start the show by saying thank you to you. It really did make a difference. It really helps like you wouldn't believe. So thank you. And with that, good morning, Lees. I'm glad that you're with us this morning. Thank you so much for being here, sharing the morning with us, along with Dave. David, good morning. Stay safe, especially tonight when you hear the weather warning that we have of freezing rain. Good morning, Monique. Thanks for being with us. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Belinda. Thank you so much. Hope all you guys are having a great day. Morning from Espanola. Oh, ever cool. Denise, yes. As you know, I'm also in Espanola at the moment. So we're fellow Espanolians, as it is this morning, as that's where my job is, my 9 to 5, which I really enjoy and I'm really grateful for. And so thanks for being with us, everyone. This is Labor of Love. It's our community conversation in the morning. Good morning. Welcome back. Thank you very much, Natalie. Much appreciated. Thanks for being here on the show. And it means a lot. And it also means a lot when we're talking about city-related issues to have you here to as you are, your boots are on the ground there, you are in the meetings, and you keep us honest and you keep us well connected. And so thanks for being with us. With that, good morning, Wade Hine from Pass It On Undercoating. So Wade, I was thinking of you yesterday, as soon as the snow is gone and there's less precipitation and wetness on the road, I'm bringing my vehicles in for undercoating, and anyone in an earshot of my voice should also do the same. Pass It On Undercoating and catch Wade Hine and his business right on Kelly Lake Road. If you're interested, all you have to do is look up Pass It On Undercoating, and Google will help find Pass It On Undercoating. So thanks, everyone. We'll dive right in now with some weather, some sports. We got some headlines, and like I said, a little deep dive on Bill C-11 this morning. At 11:30 this morning, will be at the Espanola Post Office to sign against the 15-minute cities. Oh, interesting. Apparently it's not true. It's a conspiracy theory. So we're not sure what you're signing against, according to the Sudbury.com reporter. I'm saying that sarcastically, by the way. Hope it's clearing by then. Yeah, well, so far, no precipitation. So, but let's get into the weather. With that, that's a great segue, and we're going to have a great show. So stay tuned. More to come after the weather as well. Sports headlines and a deep dive into Bill C-11, and maybe that means that the show will not continue for very much longer unless we actually do something about it. We'll be right back. And your Sudbury weather brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. As you can see, there is a advertisement in French on the CBC website for their weather. And so -6 currently, feels like -14, but let's see what this warning is all about. Freezing rain warning in effect for Greater Sudbury and vicinity. Freezing rain likely tonight, followed by rain on Wednesday. Isolated power outages are likely. So that's something that they also warned us about last week with the dumping we got. Wasn't that great? Didn't we really need like 30 centimeters of snow? I was hoping the snow wasn't over by now. I'm really glad we had more of it. Surfaces such as highways, roads, walkways, and parking lots may become icy and slippery, and they are already. My driveway, anyways, like a skating rink this morning. Freezing rain beginning this evening or tonight, changing to rain by Wednesday morning. So a brief period of snow and ice pellets are expected before a changeover to freezing rain tonight, followed by a transition to rain Wednesday morning. The rain is expected to taper off Wednesday evening. And as you know, when it rains on snow and ice surfaces already, you know what to expect. So make sure to take out your spiked shoes or your cleats that you might have been using for baseball or soccer. They might come in handy. Today, mainly cloudy, clearing this morning, wind northeast 20 kilometers A little bit windy, gusting to 40, high of +1. Minus 13 this morning, however. Tonight, as we said, it's going to become cloudy with your freezing rain, periods of freezing rain changing to rain showers in the morning for Wednesday, risk of thunderstorm late in the morning and in the afternoon. Don't you love this time of year? Isn't it great when you don't even know what kind of weather to expect? It could be snow, it can be rain, it can be ice pellets, it can be fiery frogs from the sky. Again, sarcasm, that is not more than likely not going to happen. Hopefully not. So risk of thunderstorms even tomorrow, late in the morning and into the afternoon. High of 8, wind chill -10. Look at your long range or your 7-day. Thursday, chance of flurries, high of 0. And Friday, mix of sun and cloud, high of 1. Saturday, supposed to be, so far anyways, sunny. We'll see by that time what the weather has in store for us. And then mix of sun and cloud for Sunday and Monday, 11 and 8, respectively, in that order. Look at your satellite. For those on the radio, it just looks like a ring of clouds just all the way through the Great Lakes over our populated region. And that's your Sudbury weather, brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. We'll be back right after this with some sports and more when we return. Sudbury Sports brought to you by Randy Pascal. He is that Sudbury Sports guy. His website is sudburysports.com. For all things Sudbury Sports, visit sudburysports.com. 7-game winning streak. Coach Logan Stutz, Coach of the Month for the NBLC. So first time he's gotten that distinction. Hard to believe, really. But we're number 1 in the whole league. 7-game winning streak, however, came to an end on Sunday, where we lost against Windsor. We won the first game on Saturday against Windsor to get the 7-game winning streak. And then Windsor rained on our parade, basically. On Sunday, we lost. And so ended our 7-game winning streak. However, we're still in first place. And we're looking forward to getting back up, and let's see if we can do even better with a better winning streak than 7. Let's see if we can break that. Sudbury Wolves, exciting that they are in action tonight. First playoff game in the Sudbury Arena since 2019. Facing off against the Peterborough Petes. We had the first 2 games in Peterborough. We lost the first game. We lost the second game. Both games we could have won. Chippy. Very chippy games. Very rough. So if you want to see some really amazing hockey, these teams do not like each other one bit. At the Sudbury Arena tonight, you better get your tickets. I don't know if it's already sold out or not, but if you haven't got your tickets yet, I would definitely say get them earlier than later. Tonight and tomorrow night. So get out there and cheer on the Sudbury Wolves. We're down 2-0 in the best of 7, which means if Peterborough wins the 2 games here, the Sudbury Wolves are out of it. However, we have a chance now to win. Now, my brother, every game he's been to, he says they've never lost a game since he's gone. So hopefully he's going to go tonight and go tomorrow to both games, because if we can tie the series up, it's a best of 3, and we'll at least see one more game back in Sudbury, which we want to see as well. So let's go out and support our Sudbury Wolves tonight at the Sudbury Arena. Get your tickets. You can get them online at greatersudbury.ca/tickets and beat the lineups, which there may not even be any tickets left by the time you get down there. For tonight and tomorrow, Sudbury Wolves, and that's your Sudbury Sports, brought to you by that Sudbury Sports guy, Randy Pascal, on his website, sudburysports.com. We'll be back with headlines, your comments, unpacking everything and a special deep dive into C11 right after this. All right, and we are back, and lots of Sudbury news taking place. As you know, we didn't have a show yesterday as I decided to take a day and just reflect on my father's passing, and also had a bunch of homework to do as well for a course that I took for work. And anyways, so that's that. But we're back, and there's tons of news that happened over the weekend. And including Monday. So first of all, some of the comments that have been coming through here. So speaking of Bill C-11, Trudeau just launched a new YouTube channel. Yes, we will be talking about that. And people are having a heyday with it. A lot of the comments from Harrison Faulkner on his Ray Showed podcast that we'll be taking a look at that today. He'll be the special deep dive, and he goes right into that. And again, it's interesting. So sharing is caring. Family, fam, if I'm reading that correctly. Thanks, Denise. Yes, Judy. Good morning. Thank you. Oh, thank you for doing the show. Yes, it's my pleasure. For as long as we're doing it. Anyways, you never know. There's no pressure, I guess. It takes the pressure off. Thinking that any day we could just be taken off the air or whatever, or just our accounts shut down by our government to say that the content that I have isn't Canadian because I'm part of maybe a small fringe group or something that has unacceptable ideas, like meaning my ideas or your ideas, and they're not his ideas or their ideas. And so they're not Canadian. So they're going to tell us what Canadian, hey, we're going to know once and for all what Canadian is, right? Is it just Tim Horton donuts and coffee, maple syrup, pancakes? There's been debates for years and years. What is truly Canadian? I guess we're going to find out, because if you don't say what we're told to say, you won't be Canadian. So it'll be very clear. At least it'll settle that record for us. But we'll have a deep dive. Okay. It's going to be 2 games and 2 after tomorrow night. For sure. It's going to be 2 games and 2 after tomorrow night. So Dario is predicting that the Wolves are going to win these 2 games. And I hope he has wagers out there with the owners of the Pete's. I hope you're doing that with the Pete's owners, Dario, where, you get the other owners to have to wear the shirt or something like that, or, some kind of fun wager, or the mayors, you can get the Sudbury mayor, Peterborough mayor, to do something. If Sudbury wins, they got to wear the jersey or something fun like that. You ever see those things happening? I know we've done some things like that in the past. So that would be pretty cool, actually. Belinda says, a true Canadian has unacceptable views. Okay, perfect. Yes. And you can tell it's getting very heated with our politics these days. And instead of unity, we're finding division, and that's not cool in my books. And I really want to use anything that I can do, even in the remaining time, if this show is deemed un-Canadian for any reason, to be able to talk about unity and not division, because I think we all have so much in common that we shouldn't be divided. Really, we actually all want the same things. We all strive for the same things, and if you're in a discussion like we are each and every day, it's easy to see that. And so it'll be interesting when we unpack Harrison Faulkner's take on Bill C-11. He actually talks about how Canadians feel about the new YouTube channel, as Justin Trudeau is launching it, as he's telling other Canadians to watch out what they say, because they'll be shut down. Anyways, Denise, good morning. Thanks for being with us. Good morning. In the news in Sudbury, Robert Stephen Wright's defense was clear that they plan to appeal the verdict But while the grounds of that appeal are not yet known, voir dire statements could form the basis. That's coming from Sudbury.com. So yeah, there's going to be an appeal with that particular case. Rogers says they're grasping at straws. The defense is looking for loopholes, yet not denying guilt. That's fine. Fleece more money from the Wright family to no avail. Also, Donna says that's right. Renee caught her killer by getting his DNA under her fingernails. And so, speaking of divided, that is a case that possibly has divided some of our Sudburyans. A lot of people believing that Robert Stephen Wright was in fact innocent and have information as far as they are concerned that of his innocence. And we've talked a little bit about that on the show, but again, we do have to answer that question. How did his DNA get under the fingernails of Renee Sweeney? Dario's chiming in again. He says, the bet is on Sudbury Mayor and Peterborough Mayor. Hey, right on. So it's already been done. I love that kind of those friendly bets. It just makes everything that much more fun. So if the Sudbury Wolves win the series, the Peterborough Mayor has to don a Sudbury Wolves jersey and vice versa. Okay, so Denise is saying we're all LRG coast to coast. Our fight is that at the municipal level, yes, you want change, you're going to have to feel somewhat uncomfortable. Courage and heart. Bill C11 is a big deal. I definitely agree. And that's why we're going to do our deep dive into that, hopefully sooner than later, as we just go through our Sudbury news here. Headlines: Greater Sudbury councillors will examine the possibility of multi-year budgets. Now that's kind of neat. Every year we have a budget. It takes a long time to kind of put it together, debate it, come out with it, and it's done every year, right? So if you think of planning ahead, I don't know how many years they're thinking, possibly 3, I would think. Multi-year budgets. So thinking ahead in the future and making a budget. However, you kind of have to leave things open for, like, let's say we made a 3-year budget in 2019. Like, how good would that have gone with the pandemic happening, right? So we're looking at doing that. It is Deb McIntosh who's putting that proposal forward. We'll see if that goes ahead. Anyways, we can't keep up. Sudbury Food Bank officials say as demand soars. The Liberals tout the new grocery store rebate in a short-term solution to the soaring food costs. I have so many things to say on this matter. As I worked at the largest food bank, one of the largest food banks in the region for over 10 years, I do have a lot of experience with that. There's a grocery store rebate at the moment. There's a carbon tax rebate. There's all these rebates. There's energy rebates. It's a tactic by government whenever they raise things or there's inflation or costs or more, to offer rebates, to have the illusion that, we're actually making money off of the higher prices, as the government comes in as the savior, so to speak, and giving us our own money, our own tax money back to us, which then just causes more inflation anyways. So these rebates are just, I don't even know why they're still doing it. I thought it was like, we all know wrestling isn't real. It's the same thing. These rebates are just a way to pass things through these taxes so people don't rise up as much, and they only affect like 20% or less of the population in a positive way, meaning they come out ahead of the game to some extent, not very far ahead, if I might say that as well. So again, I shared this. You definitely want to get out and support the Wolves. Home games tonight and tomorrow. Hugely exciting. So this is our deep dive we're going to be talking about today. So Harrison Faulkner is asking, is Bill C-11 a joke of what's going on, the way our government is handling things? Rose chimes in and says she doesn't really care, nothing to hide here. She can live without being online or Facebook. All she sees are ads anyways. So yeah, so some people could be, there's that my picture I shared by accident. Some people could be, neutral on this whole thing, not really realizing how it's going to affect us and our ability to share our points of view. So here you go. Yeah, I think we're just going to dive in. So other than, this was over the weekend, Sudbury letter, the Python 5000 needs to be evaluated. So, our potholes, this is like a pothole machine goes around fixing potholes, but they use this in place of, you remember, you see the truck that went by with the shovels and the asphalt in behind the truck, and they would scoop it out with the shovels, and there'd be 3 guys and they'd pack it down. Well, this is there to replace that, and it's supposed to save costs. So this particular letter is asking to look into, is it really saving costs? Is it making our streets any better? Does it fill potholes any more effectively than the 3-guy crew that goes around with the truck? And they were saying at first it was 1 guy operating this vehicle going around, and now they're seeing 2 people having to operate it. And so where's really the cost savings? It's only 1 guy that's not there. There's 2 guys and this machine. How much does the machine cost? How much does it take to maintain it, operate it with the 2 people manning it? Is it really saving money? Is it that effective? So anyways, the letter is on our Sudbury Facebook page. You can look into that. But for now, we may want to take time to do our deep dive. And Diane, good morning. Bon matin. Thanks for being with us, Diane. Also, Belinda says, rebates make Trudeau feel like he truly understands the plight of the common person, or the common Canadian. And yeah, you are right on that. And I don't necessarily think it's just Trudeau. I think government in general, I think Liberals, NDP in the past have used these things more, as Conservatives historically want to keep taxes lower, to encourage businesses to thrive. So that way the economy thrives, and then there's more jobs. So that's the 2 different ways of looking at it, 2 totally different ways of running the country. So speaking of that, different ways of running things, our current government feels the necessity to stop people from commenting online unless they have their approval in the form of a bill, which has also been deemed non-debatable by the government. It's the censorship bill that's non-debatable, and it's now up to the Senate. And anyways, I'm just going to do a deep dive here, and it's Harrison Faulkner's turn to take it from here, because he's doing it in a way that does it more justice than I could. And so with that, Harrison Faulkner here. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll make sure to share the comments as the video is playing. For those on radio, it'll be just the same. Auditorially comes through as well. We'll be back right after this.
I just seen a lot of YouTubers do that.
Well, it's tough to imagine a more insidious and evil piece of legislation being forced down the throats of unwilling Canadians than Justin Trudeau's censorship bill, C-11. If Justin Trudeau can control what Canadians see online, then of course, he can control what Canadians think. That's why those great paragons of liberty, Russia, China, Iran, they love this sort of thing. They can't allow their citizens to see the kind of freedom experienced by the rest of the world. If they do, their citizens would rise up. For those governments, they have no choice. Now ask yourself, if not to control what Canadians see and think, why bother pursuing the royal assent of a piece of legislation which is designed to do just that? And that is opposed by hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Canadians, including progressive liberals. Make no mistake about it. Bill C-11 is an existential threat to Canada and to organizations like True North. This bill could turn Canada into a firewalled third world nation where dissenting voices are completely wiped off the face of the internet, invisible to not only Canadians, but the outside world. And just as Trudeau nears the finish line of seizing control of digital media in this country, the same way he seized control of print media in this country, Trudeau decided to launch his own YouTube channel where he can sit on his desk, roll up his sleeves, talk about how great his government is, and try to not look like a tyrant. Please laugh, because otherwise you'd have no other option than to cry about it. It's just that bad. Drop a like in the video, help us out by subscribing to the True North YouTube channel, and the comment question for the episode is this: would you be prepared to go out in the streets and protest the government over Bill C-11? Let me know, and let's get into it. True to form, the Justin Trudeau Liberals last week shut down debate and dissent on their censorship legislation. Here's Liberal government House Leader Mark Holland seeking to do that while conveniently the House of Commons was empty and when nobody was paying attention.
I move, seconded by the Minister of Health, that in relation to consideration of motion number 2, respecting Senate amendments to Bill C-11, an act to amend the Broadcasting Act, and make related and consequential amendments to other acts, the debate not be further adjourned.
Understandably, the only people in the House of Commons who seem to know what is really going on here, the official opposition, were outraged.
Closure means that they are shutting down debate. Now, I find this rather interesting because really Bill C-11 is a censorship bill. So we have a government that has moved a censorship bill, and now they are moving censorship on that censorship bill. So talk about a government very committed to censorship. They're not only wanting to censor what Canadians can see and hear and post online through Bill C-11, but the government is also wanting to censor us as opposition members and our ability to speak about this bill.
Even Margaret Atwood, no conservative, has said that this bill represents creeping totalitarianism. Creeping totalitarianism. It gives the power to a woke agency, the CRTC, named by Liberals, to manipulate social media algorithms in order to shut down voices it does not want people to hear. When will this government realize that Orwell's 1984 was not an instruction manual?
Given that, of course, Justin Trudeau's paid-off legacy media journalists would be the ones who ultimately benefit the most from this censorship legislation, they're not really interested in covering any of what's going on here. Open Media, a registered, nonpartisan, nonprofit internet advocacy group, describes Bill C-11 this way. Bill C-11 expands the Broadcasting Act that grants the CRTC regulatory powers over radio and television to cover all audio-visual content on the internet, including content on platforms like TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, and podcast clients. Under Bill C-11, platforms must also make CanCon discoverable by filling our feeds and search results with a mandatory quota of official CanCon content or face stiff financial penalties from the CRTC. Now, what exactly is official CanCon content? Well, the name might suggest that it's Canadian content, but I can assure you, this broadcast right here, the one you're watching, won't fall under that official CanCon category. That's because, unlike the legacy media who are paid off by Justin Trudeau to propagandize on his behalf, this show and True North isn't interested in doing that. So because of that, will we be granted the special status of CanCon? You all know the answer to that. At its core, the biggest concern about Bill C-11 is the fact that the CRTC, a government regulatory body, would now have regulatory authority over user-generated content. That would be your activity online. Canada's top YouTubers, artists, authors like Margaret Atwood, who's definitely not a conservative, former CRTC chairman, and experts in this field have been warning that this is the express intent of the bill, to regulate your online content to make sure that only official Canadian content gets pushed forward and your content, which wouldn't fall into that category, gets regulated. And because the Trudeau Liberals think you're an idiot and you won't read the legislation, they use their propagandists in the legacy media to tell you that the government has no interest in regulating your user-generated content. But that isn't what the legislation states. Section 4.1 says that the CRTC may make an exception to regulating your online content, but then Section 4.2 reestablishes censorship over your content if any piece of your content earns revenue indirectly or directly. By the way, that's any piece of audiovisual content that is successful on the internet. But to put all your fears to rest, the federal government has been insulting you and your concerns about Bill C-11 by routinely telling people they aren't interested in regulating your cat videos.
Does he believe, as the leader of the Conservative Party, that it's the government, the Bloc, the NDP, and the Green Party trying to prevent individuals from uploading cat videos on Facebook?
Now, I know if we blocked access to cat videos, it might cause a lot of problems for the Conservative backbench who have a very short attention span during question period.
And the CRTC has been very clear. They have no interest in regulating the cat videos put up on TikTok.
This is not you uploading your cat video. Trust me, I love cat videos. I can watch them all day. After a day here in the chamber, I love a good cat video.
But then why was it there in the first place? Why was it there in the first place?
Going after people posting pictures or videos of their cats.
Some even going so far as to say cat videos will be taxed.
Despite the fact that the government tells you they aren't interested in regulating your cat videos, i.e. your user-generated content, everything the federal government has done since the introduction of Bill C-11 would lead any normal person who's been watching this to think regulating your user-generated content is the sole focus of the federal government. Understandably, the government doesn't want you to know that they are regulating your user-generated content. But when two Trudeau hand-picked senators put forward an amendment to the House of Commons to expressly prohibit the regulation of user-generated content, the Minister of Canadian Heritage, Argentinian-born Juan Pablo Rodriguez, flatly rejected that amendment. In fact, there's not a single thing the Canadian Senate can do to change the legislation. Just watch as Juan Pablo Rodriguez, Canada's El Censor, tells a room full of industry experts last month that any amendment to Bill C-11 that will, quote, impact the bill would be rejected.
Are there amendments that you've already looked at that you have decided to reject?
Well, we'll see when the bill comes back, because I can't. It's in the Senate. I don't think the
They've
senators
talked a
would
lot
be
about what those amendments are.
But there are amendments that have zero impact on the bill, and others that may have some, and those we will not accept them. There are amendments that have zero impact on the bill, and others that may have some, and those we will not accept them.
Bill C-11 is being supported by every single party in the House of Commons except for one, the Conservative Party, who have promised to repeal Bill C-11 if elected into a majority government. But a very telling moment occurred in the House of Commons a few weeks ago when a Quebec separatist Bloc Québécois MP, Andrienne LaRouche, told the House of Commons and Canadians at large that if C-11 passed and it suppresses freedom of expression for Canadians, Section 2B in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, but at the same time it promotes French language content, then it would be worth it. Then the Bloc Québécois would vote in favor of Bill C-11.
If violating freedom of expression means ensuring that Quebec content is well represented online, well, then that's worth it.
Quebec separatists are willing to throw away your rights to freedom of expression if it means satisfying the calls of their Quebec lobbyists. Really makes you wonder why we even allow separatists to sit in our federal legislature. A normal country, of course, would laugh at the idea. But if you weren't totally humiliated yet by the federal government, Justin Trudeau had one more trick up his sleeve to really make you feel like a serf subjected to the authoritarian whims of an out-of-control, tyrannical government. As Canadian YouTubers and Google themselves shout from the rooftops to get Justin Trudeau to stop Bill C-11, to stop this attack on the freedom of Canadians, Justin Trudeau took this opportunity to launch his own YouTube channel. "I'm on YouTube," Justin Trudeau shouts as he suppresses your right to freedom of expression. You'll find videos about the budget process, the new Canadian dental care plan, the grocery rebate, and much more. Check it out here. And be sure to subscribe so you never miss an upload. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss an upload from Dear Leader, while I make sure to suppress every other Canadian YouTube channel so you don't get to watch what they have to say. But make sure you watch my channel. Now, I'm not allowed to use the words I want to use to describe Justin Trudeau's decision to launch a YouTube channel while he also simultaneously crushes Canadian YouTube for all of us. But I can assure you, you and I, We're thinking the exact same thing. And this is what aspiring YouTuber Justin Trudeau has to say about the launch of his YouTube channel. Just look at how normal he is, guys. Isn't he relatable?
Hey everyone, I'm here in my office on Parliament Hill, which is where I get a lot of work done, where I hold a lot of meetings. Just a few steps away is the House of Commons, which is where we have debates, we pass legislation, we talk about the issues of the day, I answer questions from the opposition during question period. And a lot of work gets done. But there's a lot going on in politics. Sometimes it's hard to keep track of it, which is why we're launching this YouTube channel. This will be an opportunity for you to see some of the things that we're doing and hear about why we're doing it. And as we all know on YouTube, really important, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll talk soon. I just seen a lot of YouTubers do that.
He has, shockingly, unlike the CBC, left his YouTube comments open. So, we're going to read some of them. Welcome to YouTube. I expect the commenters will be unkind to you. You deserve it. Hope you're reading these comments. Resign. Reported for hate speech and misinformation. I guess his videos didn't meet the criteria of things to force Google to censor within Canada. Weird. I have a feeling that Justin Trudeau's YouTube channel probably going to be just fine. Now, for the time being, the comment section under Justin Trudeau's videos on YouTube is still open. So if you want to have a good laugh and a good chuckle, take a look at some of those videos and perhaps maybe let him know what you think in the comments of his videos. But also, reminder to let me know in the comment section of this video whether or not you would be prepared to protest in the street over Bill C-11. That's going to do it for us today on the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Harrison Faulkner, and this is Ratio.
And as you can see, he's just done a way better job in a short period of time because he's prepared that and whatever, and that's what I wanted to share. A lot of facts in there about what's going on with Bill C-11, and you can tell it was a lot of talking points from the opposition. Not the opposition, but the proponents of this bill saying that, there's nothing to worry about here because what do you think? The government's going to want to shut down your cat videos, and the fact that they all use that, and you can tell a lot of them had a hard time making it look natural when they were saying it. There's the classic politician talking points. The one really struggled, you're just worried about, what was that I was supposed to say again? Your cat videos, ha ha ha. So again, like they're just all, the fact that it shows them all using the same thing, they can't come up with another thing. Funny animal videos, something other than a cat video, or little baby videos. Or what about if you said something you didn't like about? Why didn't they say, you're worried about if you say something against the current reigning prime minister? What are you going to do then? None of them said that. They all said your cat videos to minimize the what was obviously in the bill and what is going to happen. This is the thing. You're going to see what's going to happen. So any people that feel that this is not something that you should be worried about, you're going to see what's going to happen. You're going to see that this is only one small piece of a puzzle in a mosaic. It's like if you had a puzzle piece, you ever do puzzles and you look on the puzzle box and you can see what it's supposed to look like. But if you just look at one piece of the puzzle, would you actually have an idea of what the whole puzzle looks like at all? Ever? No, that's the answer to that. But if you put two or three together, you say, I might start having an idea what this is looking like. And you have half the puzzle done. I can really see what this is supposed to be. And then you finally and then it's easier to put the last remaining pieces together as you see the whole picture. And if you see all these bills that are going through in our government, this actually makes a lot of sense of why this particular bill is important to them. Because in order to go through with that picture on the box, because every party, every political movement has a vision of what they want their world to look like and what they want to use their power for. So if you were to look into the future of what their particular vision of the future is, a lot of things they don't They don't tell you what it is because they know you'll reject it. But you can tell by the laws they're pushing forward. So just look at all the bills that are coming through, and if you want to do your research as to what possibly their vision is and who's colluding and who's interfering in our elections, and look at their particular model of governing, and then you'll maybe see what's around the corner for our nation if we don't do anything about it. And so once it goes in that direction, it ain't coming back. And so once you lose the ability to be able to say what you feel or you know to be true, and you're censored to not be able to say that, you'll never get that back, that ability. And but anyways, my particular view is that we're going down this road no matter what, because it's not only Canada, it's a worldwide movement. So in Canada, we could feel, okay, we're going to do our part where we are, and we have to. You can't do nothing. You have to do something about it. However, there's a worldwide movement to go in the direction, one world government, one world currency, one world ideology ran through the people like the WEF, people like the United Nations, people like the World Health Organization, the world legal setup, the world courts. It's already there. And it's just a matter of pushing us a little further. And all you need is the petrodollar to collapse, which it's on its way to doing now. So you just need a collapse of the American dollar, which is the world dollar, was the world dollar before 2 weeks ago. The petrodollar, it's called. It was the one that everybody had to use. So if whatever currency you were using in the world, you had to exchange it into American dollars and then back into your currency. So that was the middleman. The United States currency was the middleman for the whole world. It was being used by everyone, but now it's not. And once you find the collapse of the American dollar, you will find everything is already set in place. All of these laws are already set to go. And so that way it's easy peasy to govern without borders. Everybody's laws are very similar. So that way we all have just world laws. One law for all the world. Countries will not have sovereignty. It's a huge movement that's been going on for years and years and years and years. And you can just see it. It's called a globalist movement, right? And our world is globalist now. And can you stop that? Can you really stop that from going forward? So you see our government getting set to do our part for that movement is really what's happening, right? And that's the truth. So it's not about liberals and NDP and conservatives and Green and Parti Bloc Québécois and the People's Party and however many other parties there are that only divide us more and more and more and more. So yeah, what do you do in a situation like that? Hard to say. I know I won't be saying much coming up in the near future because, I'm not going to also qualify for these to be a Canadian media, even though I'm totally, the education and the experience and everything is all there. I just am not going to say what I'm told to say. Sorry about that. And I prefer the truth rather than someone telling me what the truth is. Prefer figuring it out on my own. So a lot of comments, guys. I know so many comments coming in here. And unfortunately, show is wrapping up. Say, geez, all he is missing is the Pee Wee Herman tie. Okay, that's probably one of the politicians you're referring to. Remember when he asked parents to step out of the room so he could talk to the children? I do remember that. I think that was during the pandemic, and he gave them his own personal number or a number to text him personally that he can kind of help them in ways parents could not. That was very creepy. Diane, I get sick hearing Trudeau's voice. Okay. Did YouTube election is close. Oh yeah, an election is close for sure. And I'll even say, even though conservatives, what they're saying and that the opposition, they're saying all the right things. And even liberals should be very worried about this Bill C-11, because I'll tell you why. Watch this. If you hate conservatives like David Wiley does, because he's made comments obviously to show that he's very partisan and does not like conservatives. If you hate conservatives that much, you should be very against this bill. You know why? What if China meddles in our elections again and wants Pierre Poilievre to be the prime minister? And he has all of these laws and he's controlling the CRTC. And he's shutting down voices that are liberal voices against his government. Can you imagine that? Which could happen. So you could have a party that you disdain that's in power that has these powers, overreaching powers. Would you want that? Would you want the conservatives to have that much power? Would you want any government to have that much power? To just shut down the voices of its people? Who's the government, by the way? Everyone? Did we lose track or lose that memory of the fact of who is actually the government? Why is there a small group of people that are representing the people that are the government, which we are the government, and telling us that we can't speak anymore unless it's what they want us to say? Whether it's liberal, whether it's conservative, whether it's left, whether it's right, whether it's black, whether it's white. Like, why would you want anyone to have that power to stop people from speaking? And this has been happening for a while, and you can see where this was going. I remember when Don Cherry was canceled, and I warned everyone, oh yeah, you're going to cancel Don Cherry for whatever your reasons are. A lot of people felt, oh, this is an old guy. He's a bigot. He's whatever. He should be off the air. They had every reason to fire this guy. I said, okay, well, he's fired now. That sets a precedent. There's going to be and there were a lot of people canceled after that. A lot of people fired for accusations. You're next. You're going to be next. So you're going to be canceled. And you're going to say, yeah, but I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything wrong. And who's going to be there to help you to say, well, you were right or whatever, or stand up for you when you're canceled? So if they can do it to one, you'll be very assured that you could be next. And so be careful who you want to teach a lesson to and shut up and cancel and stop talking, because you can do it now to somebody, but be rest assured someone will be doing it to you very soon. So many comments here again. I don't know if I'll be able to get to all of them, but I will share them all on the screen as I wrap up the show. And I have a picture of our pothole patcher, the Python 5000, in the screen here. Make sure to go on our Facebook page. It's a story. It's a letter to the Sudbury Star on our Facebook page, which links right to the Sudbury Star. So if you're interested in chiming in on that particular issue. So many issues going on in Canada. And again, there's the catch and release whole idea. The government is making it softer on criminals because they believe that our society is systemically racist and our legal system is systemically racist. And they may be right on that there is a lot of racism, specifically to First Nation people, Indigenous people, and other people. And good luck stopping racism, by the way. That's like stopping the way people think. So if you ever looked at it this way, you remember all the campaigns to stop bullying, and it still goes on today, bullying. Has bullying stopped? Will bullying ever stop? So the more you try and stop something like that, other than just with education, but you can't declare a war on bullying. A war on bullying is bullying others to stop something. You know, the ideology is to teach people correct principles of it's not good to bully, and then allow them to make those decisions. And if they don't make those decisions, and if they break a law, which we have many laws, and they break a law, well, then our system is in place to handle that type of a situation. And if our system is systemically racist, education is the best way to do it. And to change someone's heart or someone's mind it's very hard to do that. But in the ways that we're doing it, I question those. It seems very hypocritical. So we're in for an interesting time in our world. We'll be back and maybe continue this conversation tomorrow. I don't believe I've articulated my thoughts as good as I possibly could at the end of the show, but it is what it is. And thanks for being with us today. As I share a few more comments here as we're closing out. Thanks for being with us. A little bit of a deep dive into C11. Maybe we'll have more on that. Maybe we'll have more on our softer approach to our hardened criminals and people that commit heinous crimes. They're now, the legal system is just giving them a little slap on the hand and putting them right back into society, and feels that's a way to solve systemic racism. And that goes along with so many other things. There's two little pieces of the puzzle, the Bill C-11 and the other bills that are to reform our legal system. Are they right reforms? Are they reforms Canadians really get behind? So we'll be talking about things like that and more, much more tomorrow on the show. So many comments. Thank you guys so much for commenting, being with us on the show each and every day. Thanks for spending your morning with us and on the radio, CKLU. So with that, on CKLU, immediately following this show is a show called Earshot Daily, Coast to Coast to Coast, a show that I'm the coordinator of, and it's going very well, and we're pleased that it's there. And so if you are on the radio, stay tuned for Earshot Daily, and we'll be back with this show, Sudbury News Talk, on CKLU, same time, same place tomorrow. Stay safe, everyone. Have a great, wonderful day, and see you tomorrow. Ciao.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the